All right, everybody. I'm going to get started right at 11 Mountain Time because I have a ton to go through. I've got about 100 plus slides that I'm going to breeze through. Um, but basically, I want to get to questions for the last 15, 30 minutes or so. But I have a deck prepared for you guys. Been working hard on it, mixing in all kinds of content from previous presentations on marketing, from updated knowledge from the podcast, from our sourced from our team here at Spectora. So right at 11, I'm going to blast through these and we'll go from there. If you happen to be in the stream, check the chat on the right-hand side. That'll get you to the right place. You should be on YouTube or Facebook watching this stream. Some of the wrong links went out to a few users. So Rick, Troy Thornhill, check out those links to the right in the private chat. That will get you to the right place. You'll want to back out of this studio stream and on YouTube or Facebook. All right. So appreciate everyone joining. Worked hard on these slides. I'm pumped. So I'm going to go through them. And again, first 30 minutes, we'll go through slides. Then we'll get to questions and kind of dig in. Looks like Troy, Reginald, Nicholas, check out the links to the right in your private chat. That'll get you to the correct stream. Cool. So let's go. The goal, give you guys some knowledge, some tools, but the execution is what's important here to get more business through your marketing. I want everyone here to just take away one golden nugget. If you take nothing else away, I want you to find one thing that could impact your business. So one golden nugget, and I want you to write it into the chat. So I want everyone else to be able to get excited about it. When you hear something that you'll take to the bank, comment, put it in the chat, and let everyone know you're excited about it. That lets me also know what's working well, what resonates with you. So one golden nugget, that's all we're after here. So who am I, for those of you that don't know, and why should you listen to me? Kevin Wagstaff, founder of Spectora. I did work at Home Advisor for a time on their SEO team. I know some love them, some hate them, but I worked on their team there to drive traffic to the website. And then I was a realtor. So a lot of my experience comes from being in real estate and being approached by home inspectors and working with them. So if you don't know, we're Spectora, make software, websites, blah, blah, blah. All right, so what are we going to cover? We're going to cover a few specific areas of digital marketing. So we're going to focus in specifically on SEO, a little bit of social, a little bit of pay-per-click, but SEO and agent direct marketing. That's the main focus. So I see those as the two pillars that you guys need to be thinking about. And then meeting agents, of course, very important. One of the most important things in the business. So it's going to feel like this for a little while. So you're going to feel overwhelmed. It's going to be a lot of information coming at you, and I understand that, but this is repetition, and just take it a step at a time. So I broke down everyone's answers when you guys all registered for this to find out who I was talking to. So 50% of you said you're doing inspections at a comfortable rate, but you want more. Perfect. That's a good spot to be in. You maybe have a little more budget to spend. Maybe you could hire some people to do some of these things. About 33% of you are open for business, but it's slow going. And that's the spot where you might have more time than money. And so, and then about 17% of you are still getting licensed. This is a good early exposure for you to things you can and should be thinking about as you get up and running. All right, some do's and don'ts. There's going to be some of these at the end of each section. So I want you guys to break these things down. You don't have to do all these at once. I want you to think about your habits and start small. Gradually add these components one at a time. Don't do them all at once. As much as you can, guys, don't get overwhelmed. And don't feel like you have to do this all at once. There are professionals, there's partners we can link you up with. Some of this can be outsourced. Some of this I'm going to challenge you to do. So with that said, this is a quote. If you can't see it, it says, play long-term games with long-term people. All returns in life, whether in wealth, relationships, or knowledge, come from compound interest. So I want you guys to know this is a long-term game when you're talking to agents and thinking about SEO. Brian Ross, Apex South, there is a link in the private chat that you're going to want to click on to get to the YouTube and Facebook streams. Just FYI, look at those links. You should be on YouTube or Facebook. So click on those. I want you guys to think about if your business, if you're treating this like a marathon, truly treat it as such and think about your long-term habits versus I'm going to get a bunch more business in the next month. I'm not saying sprinting is wrong. I'm saying be willing to sacrifice and spend a lot of time on this stuff and front load it if you're thinking more of a sprint mentality that you want your business to grow exponentially right away. Most of you are here because you know your online presence is important, but I'm going to speed through this for those of you that still need some convincing. Most of you want to be less reliant on agent referrals. Average agent tenures 3 years or less. They're turning over just about the same rate they always have. And so if a rise in interest rates results in more agents dropping out of the business, you guys are going to feel the effects. And so we want you to get more direct traffic and we want you to diversify your agents. So you're always onboarding new agents. People are searching for you. For those of you that don't know, this is data pulled from SEMrush, which is straight from Google. About 18,000 people a month search for a home inspector across the country. Looks like 27,000 search for home inspectors near me. So people are searching. So you're here because you want more marketing and SEO. This is the data that basically says customers and agents are Googling for your business. They are looking for you specifically. A lot of times, if you have a poor presence, it reflects poorly on you and it doesn't look good to agents and clients. So I'm not going to beat that down. And then if you neglect it, guess what? There's someone that's paying attention to their Google reviews. They're getting business when someone could even be looking for you. So this is just a screenshot of someone searching for an inspection company. And guess what? They found someone else because they saw a higher rated inspector and you wouldn't even notice. You wouldn't even know you lost the business. So basically, I don't want you guys leaving money on the table. The whole point of this is to not leave money on the table because visitors are searching for you and they might not even get to you. All right. One quick basic that I want to expose everyone to is a basic sales funnel where you acquire customers all the way on the left. They book an inspection and then you keep them by doing a great job on your inspection, maybe sending email newsletters to agents, and then they continue to refer you at the other end of this. So this is dumping customers in at the far left of this at the acquire stage. We don't need to go into that in depth, just something for you guys to think about. So quick definitions on SEO. Let's see. Brian, Ross, Apex South, Vicky, check the links out on the right-hand side of the private chat to get to YouTube or Facebook. That's the right place you'll want to be. So SEO, search engine optimization. We're going to speed through this, guys, so hang with me here. This is where you rank on Google when someone searches basically for home inspection Austin, home inspection Denver, home inspection Santa Barbara. Basic breakdown of what the search engine results page looks like. At the top, you're going to have your Google ads, usually 3 to 4. And then you're going to have the Google local 3-pack below that. That's where the map is. And it lists 3 home inspection companies. You don't pay to be there. You get there by having good Google reviews, by having a good website, typical local SEO factors. And then on the right-hand side here, you're going to see the organic rankings. So that's where you want to be. You want to be in the local and you want to be in the organic. We'll talk a little ads later, but basically we're going to focus on local and organic right now. Top SEO factors, content, your website, and reviews. Very simple. We're going to go into each in depth here. Why do I know this? Because Google told us. Google basically said, hey, the top signals are links and content. So we have to listen to them and do what they say. Most people just seem to ignore that. Big PSA, this doesn't happen overnight anymore, guys. If most of us were around when Google was able to be spammed, where you could just put home inspector Nashville, Tennessee on your website 100 times and you would shoot to the top of the rankings, get a bunch of business, and life was great. You can't game the system any longer, guys. So just know that Google's algorithm is modern and current, and it rewards actual hard work. So plan for 6 months of consistent habits for results in months 6 through 12. That is kind of my blanket disclaimer and recommendation. And trust me, I know nobody wants to hear that this is just going to take a long time and take hard work, but it's worth having. I promise you it's worth having. I know so many companies. I know hundreds and hundreds of companies that literally have inspections booked when they're at a conference, multiple inspections booked in a day or an hour or overnight. So I love that picture. So let's get into content and blogging, because Google tells us, remember, this is one of the most important factors in ranking high in Google when someone searches for you. So what do you write about? It's a question I get all the time. What do I write about? So I have an article here. I'll include links to all of this, by the way. Anything I link to, I'm going to send out to everybody that was on the stream, and we'll make sure everyone gets. But if you go and the deck as well. So I actually wrote an article, 40 home inspector blog topic ideas. So what this will do, give you a jump start. I've done the keyword research to tell you what is important, what people search for, and that'll give you some ideas to start. Another one, guys, ask Google. So check this out. If all of you type into your Google search bar home inspection, Google's going to try to guess what you're searching for. So just stop after home inspection and hit space. And you're going to get a couple different ideas here just from Google telling you what people typically search for. So if nothing else, I want you to know you can always kind of use Google as a tool to see what people are interested in. These are article ideas. The people also ask. That's midway down the page usually. So if you search anything in Google, you're going to see this little box right here. You guys should be answering those questions, because I have a good feeling this is what people ask you when they're on site. This is what customers are asking agents. This is what home buyers are curious about. So this right here will give you ideas of what to write about. And then finally, at the very bottom of any Google search results page, you will see related searches. So again, common home inspection findings, general home inspection checklist. These are all things you guys could write today, whether you're just getting licensed or been in the business and you're doing hundreds a month. These are things you could probably write down in a bullet point fashion and create some content around. And then think outside of home inspections, guys. The home maintenance world, many of you are well versed in. Many of you know how to change a furnace filter. Many of you know how to do basic home maintenance. Guess what? Millennials don't. Most home buyers right now do not. So think outside of that. The everyday things that you know how to do can be turned into content, whether it be videos or blogging, or focused on writing and blogging right now. So how many of you are well versed in your local area? This is a screenshot from Kurt Ho's North Ohio property inspection. We did his SEO years and years ago when we managed SEO plans. And I wrote articles with his input on Strongsville, Ohio, on every area that he wanted to service. We wrote about local attractions, events, trends, local charities, pretty much anything that was happening locally. We wrote about it and we made it helpful. And lo and behold, he ranks first in multiple cities around the Akron area. And I think he's got like 600 Google reviews. He's a multi-inspector firm. So all from SEO, because he hated talking to agents. Believe it or not, he didn't want to approach agents. So we focused in on local content like this by being helpful and saying, what's going on in my local area that I can write about? I think you guys can ask your clients and agents for content ideas. If you have a notes document in your phone or computer, ask them the normal things you ask them during the course of a home inspection. Ask them what they're curious about. Keep asking them if they have any questions. Take that right back to your website and create that content. Because guess what? It's now a 2-for-1 where you get common questions from your buyers and agents. You put it into a blog post, and now you send that out in your Spectora automated emails before the inspection, and it preempts it. So now you're helping your job on site be easier by answering something with automated content that you know is going to come up. So that right there is worth it if you save yourself the same 5 questions that a millennial home buyer is going to ask you. So just ask at the end of the day. Guest posting, this means you writing for another agent's website. So you're writing on that real estate agent's website a piece of content. This only works if you're talking to the rainmakers and the big agents, because they're usually the only ones that update their websites. But if you do happen, that's a good way. And I'll give you some strategies on how to approach them here in a bit, or right now. How do I ask? So this is content that's going to help a real estate agent's clients. So this could be your in to them by saying, "Hey, I just love writing about foundations, or I love writing about to help new homeowners find out the most common issues they should care about." A lot of times that's a different kind of pitch and that might get their attention. So I like that as an intro. If you don't have a blog on your site, start one. If your site is hosted with Spectora, all you need to do is write to our web team and say, "Hey, let's start a blog on my site. I want to start writing." I'll send everyone this link again, the Home Inspector blog ideas, and then think about guest posting if you find agents with a nice website that has a blog. All right. So, guys, if you've heard of keyword stuffing, don't do it. There's no shortcuts to this. Do not copy and paste content from anywhere. If you're thinking about how to, if you're thinking about how to shortcut the system, please don't do it. Just don't want it to do it. And then don't write thin content if it's only two sentences. Think about providing more value and go in depth. And again, don't try to game the system, guys. Quality content, just like you read every day, is where the game's at. Okay, bonus tips, guys. If you really can't get yourself to learn to write, and trust me, I was a terrible writer. I still probably am, but I practice. So I want you guys to know that the more you do it, the better you feel about it. So I encourage everyone to either get comfy writing so then you can train someone on your team, or just do it yourself for a while there until it becomes the primary job. So, but there are services that do this for you. We've used a few of these: Verblio, Rightly Written, Contentfly. You tee up the articles for them. You write an outline essentially, and then from there they write the article, send it to you. Time block this, guys. So this is a simple hack. It's something I'm always experimenting with. Literally block it off on your calendar. You have to be willing to sacrifice an inspection to write this content because this is your long-term strategy. So you have to be willing to say, I'm willing to lose $300 today to gain $300 a week or $900 a week in 6 months. So it really is a trade-off. You're taking time now to either plan content, to think about it, or actually write it. And I want everyone to try to commit to that because SEO has changed the course of Spectora's business. I've seen it change the course of hundreds of inspectors' businesses. It's worth it. And not to mention, guys, if you do hire someone, expect to pay for it, but I want you to know what you're talking about. I want you to know what you're hiring. We partner with a company called Market Hardware that manages SEO plans. I want you to know what they're telling you. I want you to be able to call their bullshit. So at a bare minimum, put in the time to learn stuff. Some tools to jot down. Again, I'm just going to send out the deck to everybody with links. SEMrush helps you learn what people are searching for and how often. Google Search Console can be set up on any website to give you, and that gives you insight into how people are getting to your site. Google, everyone to know what their local rankings look like. So everyone's homework is going to be to Google home inspection and then insert your city. So for me, it would be Home Inspector Denver, Home Inspector Austin, Home Inspector Nashville. So I want everyone to know how to Google that and kind of see what shows up. And everyone check out Structure Tech. If you haven't heard of them, I think they have like a 50-person inspection company up in Minneapolis. Ruben Saltzman is kind of the pioneer of writing and SEO for home inspectors. He's been blogging before it was popular for about 15 years. Great guy. I want everyone to check out his site. If you ever struggle for content ideas, go there and either replicate or expand on some of his topics. And then for your actual writing, guys, I just use Google Docs or a notes app to write my drafts in before I put them into our WordPress site. So that's really all you need there. I'm going to pause here and let's see. going to check to see if we had any questions pop in yet. I told everyone to hold off, but let's see if anyone threw them in here, and then we'll keep it rolling here. All right. Website. I'm going to blast through this, guys, because I think everyone knows they need a quality, well-designed, mobile optimized website, but I know some of you don't. And so I'm talking to you. If your website looks like this, great. You're doing a great job. You're winning. Clients are probably converting on your online scheduler. If your site looks like the one on the left, I recommend letting us build you a website. Again, another example, guys. Everyone should be pulling up their site on mobile to see what it looks like. Design matters. Impression matters. Every day I Google around and I still see websites that look like this one on the left. And I can tell you, as a old millennial, anyone younger than me is going to look at this and associate that with your value and your quality. So for those of you that have been neglecting it, you're not even noticing the clients you're not getting, but you need to address it. Another example. So consider a refresh, rebuild. Look at your site on a phone. I want everyone to use the online scheduler. It's scalable. It helps you book more inspections. And if you guys are all taking these over the phone, your business by definition isn't going to be able to scale. You've got to get people comfortable scheduling online and have your services and fees dialed in. For you multis listening, you can handle service areas and do everything with the online scheduler. So this is marketing ammunition. If you have a great website, this should be in every pitch to your agents, because it matters. Trust me, coming from an agent, agents that care a lot about simplicity and vanity, you'll get that. I don't want you guys to ignore the importance or have your folks have a bad mobile experience or lose visitors that you're just not aware of. So think about the design of your website as just as important as any SEO aspects or blogging. Okay, let's get to reviews, because I've been pounding the table on this for 6 years, and I still see very successful inspectors with only 10, 20, 30 reviews. So 665. This is North Ohio Property Inspection. I mentioned him earlier. He doesn't do agent presentations. He doesn't like talking to agents. So from the beginning, he worked on SEO. He did some pay-per-click. He had some expertise there. So that was an unfair advantage. We'll put that aside. He's 5 years in the business and has 665 five-star reviews because he asks consistently. And look, he's like, who are you going to pick if you're a customer or an agent? They have 12, they have 3. He's got 665. Like, that's an overwhelming lead. You have to get there. I think this is how you have a local monopoly. This is how you have a business that spans generations, when you have this type of lead. And that is purely because he's asking for Google reviews. 93% say online reviews impact their decision. That's a simple stat. So make sure you're asking everybody and make it easy for them. If you guys need help on this, our team will help you. You have to link directly to where they can leave you a review. I still see emails that say, hey, go to Google and leave me a review, or hey, go to Yelp and leave me a review. You have to give them the link, and you have to give it to them at least 3 times. Very big advocate of this. So I want everyone to go into their automation and just double check that you are asking for a Google review 3 times. You have to bug people on this. People are busy. As an agent, clients are flustered typically through the home inspection process. They probably didn't even see your first or second email. So send it 3 times. This is a cadence that has worked well for some inspectors. Some of the ones we used to work with, where we were ramping up their Google reviews, they asked it 4 hours, 4 days, and 16 days later when the dust has settled, but maybe before closing. So once they're in the clear with the inspection, appraisal, title, they might be willing to they might have nothing else. They might not have a ton that's cluttering their mind and ready to leave you a review. Or consider Blip for a while. We partner with Blip. It's an automated service that basically spreads out the different areas you're asking for reviews in. And Ryan, I just saw your question come in. Yes, you need to ask for a review as well, because some people don't check their email. So I want you guys to take advantage of text messaging as well. because a lot of folks do everything via text. And if you just provide that link in your text templates, they'll be able to leave you a review. Um, Reddy talked about this 5 years ago. He got to 100 Google reviews, and he consistently dominates now. So again, this is the power of reviews. It's got to be something that's on your mind all the time, and get reviews in multiple places. So we can agree most people here probably are not fans of Yelp, Home Advisor, maybe Zillow, maybe Facebook, whatever. I purposely sized these in to signify their importance, because I get this question about every week, every office hours I do. Focus on Google most of the time. Get to 500 Google reviews. There's reasons to focus on others, and I'll tell you guys that right here. If you Google here, let's see. So we're going to Google home inspector Akron, Ohio. If you Google your area and you see that Yelp ranks first, love them or hate them, you might want to be there. So how do you get to the top of Yelp? So let's go into this page here. We're going to workshop this out. You probably get to the top of their site by having good reviews or paying. So yeah, they have the whole, same model as Google. But if you get a ton of reviews and they're 5-star here, there's a good chance you're going to show up at the top of Yelp. And I think that's where you want to be, because guess what? About 40% of people are going to click on Yelp because they rank first. So you have to spread out your reviews according to what your local search results look like. A lot of people ask, oh, buy Spectora there. Like, those reviews don't matter. In some markets they do, in some markets they don't. So again, if there's a directory page where Spectora promotes our inspectors that ranks high in your area, you should go get a bunch of Spectora reviews so you can show up at the top. You can always switch it month to month. I tell people, spread it out. Spread it out. So if you do 10 inspections in March, get 7 or 8 to leave you a Google review, or all 10. And then in April or May, switch it to Facebook if you have a lot of agents that visit you there. So think practically about this. There's no one size fits all. That's kind of the moral of the story. All right. This is a lesser talked about aspect of reviews, guys. This allows you to raise your prices, because guess what? When Kurt has 665 5-star reviews, clients and agents are guaranteed basically that they're going to have a great experience. He's been able to aggressively raise his prices because of that assurance. So don't just think of this as getting business. This raises revenue per inspection. Real quick, Ross, Vicky, Silverhammer, Jonathan, I see you guys in the stream here. Check the comments to the right, the private comments. Use that link to go to YouTube or Facebook to view the stream. So you're going to be able to participate in the chat and do some other things there. So use the links in the private chat to get you over to YouTube or Facebook. All right, bonus tips. I don't know how many inspectors here mention on site that they're going to be sending a review to their clients, or sending an email to the clients to ask for a review. Because to me, if I was in the driveway with a buyer and the agent looked the client in the eye and said, hey, my business really relies on local reviews and word of mouth, we're big in the community, I would really appreciate it if you could check that out and leave me a review. It means the world to us. They're much more likely to do it. So I think that should be a part of your practice as you're wrapping up the inspection, maybe after your driveway speech or after you kind of do the summary. That should be something by default you guys mention. I promise you it's going to up your take rate. And I've seen people just go off to the races here with this. Follow-up texts, again, someone mentioned in the chat, absolutely use text message. I still see a lot of inspectors ignoring it. You have to pay attention to text. In your emails, you can request that they let you know if something did not go well. I think the fear a lot of times is, hey, I don't want to just ask everybody, because what if there's that one crazy? And we all know there's crazies. You can have a contact form on your website that just sends you an email. So that's a good little hack there, and say, hey, was something, did you experience something, poor? Did you have a poor experience with us? I'd love to hear about it. I'm the owner and founder. Let me know here. And then you link off to that contact form. A little gray area in terms of review gating, but Well, we can discuss that. I think someone asked a question in the comments on that. Again, swap out Google with other review sources for a month or two. You want to build up some reviews on Facebook, Yelp, Zillow, Home Advisor, Spectora, wherever is relevant, whatever business is relevant in your market. Google pays attention to that. So don't think it's just to rank first on Yelp. Google also scans Yelp's results and assigns relevance to companies that have reviews that are spread out. So again, love them or hate them, you need to get some reviews in multiple places to diversify. Okay. Do ask for reviews, automate this. It just happens in your sleep and it's beautiful. Don't make people work to leave reviews. Guys, don't be shy. Don't worry about bugging people. Like, people are inundated nowadays with emails, with texts. In this world, we just kind of tune out what's not important. So I think you have to be okay with over asking for these things, because what's the downside? Your competition does it. They get to 100 or 500 or 1,000 Google reviews before you, and they start picking off a job here and there. So the risk, I think, is greater to not do this. You need to be doing it. If you have bad reviews, respond to them head on, take accountability. That's kind of reviews 101. And then don't forget other platforms. So Chris, that's here, used the word infiltration in terms of talking to agents. And I loved using that. I had never heard that before, so I'm just using that here. Agent infiltration, which implies that we're doing something sneaky here. But this is the mindset for those of you that have heard of Zig Ziglar, famous marketing guru, has written some amazing books. It's all about helping agents get what they want for you to get what you want, which is referrals. For those of you that don't listen to or know that we have a podcast, we have a free podcast, episode 84. These are two pretty successful agents in two very different markets, one in California, one in Ohio. They give some good insight as to things that inspectors did that really annoyed them, and then things that worked, things that they enjoy about their current inspectors. Check it out. It's a good listen. We're talking mostly marketing today, guys. I'm going to breeze through agent presentations because some of you I know are well-versed in them. Some of you have done many of them. This is part of the goal. I think this is becoming less of a factor in a post-COVID world. So I'm going to breeze through this. Don't just go in and hand your business cards or flyers. They get thrown in the trash. I think we all can agree on that. If you don't know that, it's the unfortunate reality. There's a gatekeeper, front desk person. A lot of times they just end up in a break room or in the trash. So think about your website more instead of a ton of physical materials that just get trashed. How are you going to be different when you go into an agent presentation? I'm not saying you need to bring a fruit bouquet like this, but I think the cheap donuts from King Soopers is the other end of the spectrum. So I want you guys to, I've heard of inspection companies making home cooked meals for agent presentations. I've heard of them doing a little bit higher end catering, just to show these agents that you are premier and that you might be a premium inspector, because that's where you want to be. I don't think you want to signal that you're cheap and you just stopped on the way there. Think, maybe even ask them what they would want if you're doing a presentation. How are you different? Again, North Ohio Property Inspection, he was another great example. He brought these Yeti mugs that I think costed him 60 or 70 bucks for, I think it was some of the top producers and other agents at the office he went to. He knew they weren't going to throw this away. He knew that's something that they would use. And guess what? It's got his phone number, his branding. That's going above and beyond. That was a bigger risk. I know not everyone can afford to do that right away, but if it's an office you really care about and you're really ready to make some relationships, might be something worth considering. And then on the left is Scott Home Inspection. They got about 30 inspectors up in Northern Colorado. They have a killer blog. Like they blog, they really do the content thing well. Check out their site, Scott Home Inspection. Your reports, most of you here use Spectora. If you don't, think about how you're different. Everything about the report is better than what's on the left here. And some of these agents, guys, still in this day and age, 2022, have inspectors whose reports look like this on the left. So don't take for granted or think that everyone uses Spectora or a competitor. No, a lot of them still use these tired old PDFs, and a lot of agents still think that's the only way. So We're going to talk a little bit about some characteristics of the report and features that you can kind of accentuate and promote, and some of the language that I would use. Think of other ways to provide value too when you're thinking of agent presentations, guys. Some of you should be checking with your state to see if you can get registered to teach CE courses, continuing education courses. Agents have to get continuing education. If you have a course that can get them one of those credits that they have to get, guess what? They're going to let you present, and they're going to let you bring food, and they're going to let you kind of give your spiel. New agent training. So there's always new agents. Brokerages don't have anyone that trains them on home inspections. They probably don't have anyone that teaches them home inspection 101 or how to navigate, how to help your client through. So I think that's a low-hanging fruit when you approach most brokerages, to say, hey, do you have a new agent training program for the home inspection portion? I'd love to come in once a month and just teach your new agents how to navigate this with their clients. Always leave them with a resource, whether it's your website, your social media handles, something they can refer back to. And then at the end of the day, guys, you got to show them how you're making their lives easier. Okay. I told you I'd breeze through this, guys. Know your UVPs, your unique value propositions, like what makes you unique. And it cannot be, we do a thorough inspection, we have good customer service. Think above and beyond. We got to think differently here. And make it all about them. Make it all about them. I can't hammer that home enough. Almost every episode of the podcast, some of the most successful companies say they make it all about the agents. Don't come unprepared. Don't use too many words. This is not a time for you to rattle off your certifications. If you can do it for an initial credibility hurdle, great. But most agents just want to know how you're going to make their life easier. Are you going to help with the inspection objection? Are you going to have a report that's easy to understand, doesn't freak out buyers? And again, you guys collect business cards when you go to an office. Don't hand them yours. This is a big one, and I want to reemphasize this. Always get their contact info, so then you can follow up, whether through your CRM or sending personalized emails. I think too many people just give their card and they make the agent do the work. So think about that. You're giving them your card. You're saying, oh, I want you to find me, instead of, I'm going to keep following up with you till you give me business. All right. So we're going to talk now digital. All right, guys, I'm going to speed through this in about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to even cut this short, and I'll do another one of these in a week or two to cover the rest of this deck, but I would definitely want to get to questions. How do you find agents online? So online stalking, we're talking digital strategy here. So if you can get access to the MLS to find some of the higher producing agents, I've heard of inspectors. They have a buddy, they have an agent friend, helps them get access to the MLS to pull lists out to contact agents. Zillow is a great one. I love using Zillow to find agents that are paying, like not agents that are just busy. And I'm going to show you guys here in a second, but agents that are paying for ad space. That tells you that they're very successful and they're willing to pay for leads. It's a good place to go. Chamber of Commerce, just Google it. Again, just Google it. Social media, again, they're all over social media. And working your personal network hard, guys. I think asking people what they do, asking them if they know agents, and just letting conversations flow whenever you're at your kid's soccer game or at a parent-teacher meeting or at a family dinner party, whatever. Great inspectors work their personal networks really well. Okay, so we're gonna go through a couple different hows that you guys all asked me and told me that you wanted to learn when you signed up for this. So some of you wanted to learn how to approach agents, what to say, what to text or email, correct marketing tone, features to attract them, and then SEO to get their attention, how to build trust, effective use of social media, what to say, and how to maximize time there. Okay, workshop time. So basically, I want to show you guys the Zillow example. So let's go home inspector, Austin, Texas, Zillow. I'm just going to show you guys, if I was just doing this from scratch, I'm going to go to this directory page. Okay, cool. So I see a few listings. Look what it tells you here. It tells you how many transactions they've done recently, how many reviews they have. It links to their website, gives you sometimes their office number. I see a lot of cell phone numbers even listed here, guys. So if you really wanted to narrow this down and find an agent, this shows you how to do it. And there's actually a different view here, I believe, when I went incognito. So let's see. Oh, I did home inspector, real estate agent. That's what we're looking for. I'm so used to home inspectors. Realtor. We don't want to find a home inspector. We want to find an agent. So, okay, now we're talking. You guys are probably like, why the hell would I want to find a home inspector? So, real estate agents, Austin, Texas. So, this tells you how many transactions they've done in the last 12 months. Realty Austin, Rainmaker, Eric Bramlett. So, and then it shows you all of the people within his brokerage, right? Oh, 380 sales in the last 12 months. Do you think just one company can service that, or two or three? So you're looking at this thinking, hey, I just want to be Eric's second inspector or third inspector. Maybe you approach one of his agents that has done a few less in the last 12 months to get your feet wet, to get used to sending an email or doing a phone call. But look at this: cell phone number, website, Facebook, and address, and their listings and sales. This is beautiful for prospecting. So I would be putting these into a Google Sheets or a platform like Trello to track, or if you use a CRM, to track all of these agents that you want to work with, how often you've reached out to them, if you've got an answer. And that's a topic for another day. I'm going to do another webinar on that, on how kind of we handle prospecting. But again, this is a gold mine, guys. Look at this. Just agents with reviews, tells you the transactions. And some of these agents pay to be here. So this is a gold mine. It goes on and on and on. So I wanted to just workshop that real quick and show you guys that. When you're approaching agents, some themes to keep in mind. You need to personalize everything by going to their website, going to their Facebook page. And then you got to add credibility by saying, hey, we have 76 5-star reviews. I'm not just brand new here. You got to add value, be yourself, and ask questions. Again, help them get what they want, guys, which is save time, not freaked out clients, and someone they like and trust. Okay. Some subject line examples in an email. Someone asked, like, what do I send? What do I email them? Here's a couple examples. Use emojis in there to catch their eye. Premier agent, meet premier home inspector. Some things with personality in there. Our business philosophies align. Let's meet up. I'll buy. And then here's one where I started with personalization. Hey, Eric, the guy from Austin. I saw you're sponsoring a beer festival this weekend. I'll be there, or I'm sponsoring it too. You're busy, so I'll get right to it. I'd love to be on your roster of home inspectors, even if it's when your main ones are booked out. So for the 17% of you that are still getting licensed and the 33% that's things are slow going, try this line with agents. It tends to work really well to say, hey, I know you got your main company or two, but when they're booked out and busy, let me know. I can do inspections typically next day or same day. That's the way to get them added without the pressure of saying, hey, I'm not trying to replace your main company or guy. Just let me be number 2 or 3. That gets your foot in the door, and then it's your job to win them over from there. I added the Google reviews for credibility, and then I closed by saying, hey, can I swing by the office later this week and say hi, to get the in-person introduction, because some agents still will want to shake your hand and get to know you. Features. I don't think inspectors promote these enough in terms of on their website or when they're talking to agents. Again, easy to read, easy to understand. Their inspector might have that old PDF report that was really difficult, and they might not even know it until they see your report. So a format that doesn't freak buyers out because it's highly visual, that's a good marketing angle to say, because again, at the end of the day, agents just don't want their buyers overly freaked out from the home inspection report or findings. So if you say, hey, this format really caters to the modern buyer because it's very visual, it's easy to understand, and it's not going to freak them out. It's going to put things into context. I bet you that alone gets you a few dozen agents just by using that line, because I don't know if their current inspector does that. Mobile friendly, the repair request builder. So if you don't know what the repair request builder is, go into your Spectora account, play around with it. We can I'll have Dasha or Rodaline or Louie link to some resources for the repair request builder. Give it a shot. promoting this to agents when you talk to them, because again, their inspector might just have a PDF report and then the agent has to do work. Because I remember doing this, guys. I had to do work to copy and paste from PDF into my inspection addendum, the inspection objection addendum. And it was a pain in the ass. Sometimes took me 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Repair request builder saves certain agents time. And I've heard that over and over. So again, makes their negotiating easier. That's adding value to them. That's saying, hey, agent, what do you use to write your inspection objection? Do you have a tool like this? Okay, well, I do. It might be worth checking me out. And then reminder and follow-up texts, just like you guys get when we go to the dentist or something like that. I've heard of agents using inspectors just because they really love the fact that he sent a text 10 minutes before the inspection reminding them of the inspection. So that's worth mentioning. You just never know. And then online booking, it's huge. If you tell agents, hey, you can do this from your phone while you're driving down the interstate at 70 miles an hour, it's easy. We don't have to do a phone call. Some agents will love that. Again, the perception of the report, guys, can be just as important as the content within it. That's what marketing is, guys, the perception of something. And so that's why we're talking through some of this language, because the way you talk about it really matters to agents. Whereas I say our industry because I feel like I know how a lot of inspectors think and talk, and I'm numb to it too, that like all these things we take for granted. Remember, they don't see these every day. So now it's like, how well do we talk about how useful these reports are, how they're mobile friendly, how the repair request builder helps them? They forget. Yeah, we don't want to just do a PDF report, guys. Like, it's impossible to read on a phone. I mean, that's a legit screenshot there. You have to zoom in and pinch. Something even like this, if this is in your guys' like decks when you go in and do an agent presentation, you're making them laugh, you're bringing some levity to it, and you're showing some features here. This is a snippet from a website we built where it just kind of shows them, it walks them through the repair request builder. So then if an agent lands on your site, they might see this. Mobile friendly reports, again, huge ease of use, online agreements and payments, more features, reminders, education. So much ammunition here, guys, that you could talk to agents about. You know what? I'm going to pause here, guys. I'm going to stop, and we're just going to get to questions here because I want to get to some of these questions. So I'm going to have to do a part 2 to this because I made way too many slides. Let's see. So I'm going to go through here. Jenna, would you recommend just stopping into offices? I've been trying to get traction with the brokerage overall rather than just individual agents at the moment. Jenna, it just depends. If you think you can catch, an agent or get past, say, the front desk person to have a good conversation, I don't know. I probably would not like a blind drop in as much as I would like connecting with an individual at the office and saying, hey, can I stop by during your sales meeting, or can I talk to your manager to see if I could just do a quick little presentation to help you guys out with your new agents or with how you view home inspection reports. So I would say come with an ask. And again, use that Zillow to reach out to you could reach out to every agent at the office and just get your way in there for a quick presentation, because even if everyone's remote, my brokerage used to have a monthly sales meeting where everyone would come into the office. So that's something you can think about there. Let's see. I'm just going to scroll to the top here, guys, and hit some questions. Let's see. Let's see. Yep. You want to use text. Let's see. I'm going to scroll up here, guys. Yeah. Pop in your questions, guys, on anything I went through. Again, we're going to have to do part 2 of this. I think there's a lot here that I have in terms of using SEO to acquire real estate agents that I want to get to. So we'll definitely do a follow-up. All right. I'll send out the slides, Beth. I'll send out the slides to everybody. All right, here we go. David, biggest hurdle now, getting my first inspection. Um, yep, we can definitely build you a site. Guys, getting your first inspection should come from your personal network. So I want for the new inspectors here to think about promoting that you're a home inspector on your Facebook page, or if you're on social media, to your family, friends, to people in your neighborhood, on next door. It's all about the personal network. So I think just announcing that to everyone you know is going to get you started. Let's see. All right, here we go. Here's a good one, Jason. Got my first insurance agency through a Facebook post of mine being shared by a friend of my wife. Exactly to my last point, guys. Do Facebook posts. Be overly assertive with this. Be a little fake it till you make it, and show that you're confident and that you're here, and people see it. People share it. Crazy things happen. So um, let's see. Um, Philip Netty, good comment there. Had a realtor tell me yesterday he wouldn't use anyone else after saying very similar wording to him. Um, all right, guys, let's see. Stance on Google PPC. Josh, what's up, man? Good to see you. My stance is most people should not be using Google pay per click, and that might be a little, absolute or controversial. I say that because it takes pretty extreme expertise to not blow through $1,000 in a month with no leads. Um, I'm going to do a separate webinar on this because it's that niche and specific. I just think without you need to use negative keywords too, Josh. So I think I see too many ads running for home inspectors when I do a search for home inspector association or structural inspection. You're showing up and people are clicking because they don't know any better, and it's blowing through your budget. So I see PPC as being a very dialed in expertise kind of game. And if you're not willing to learn it or don't find an agency that really knows our industry, I'd rather you guys spend that somewhere else. Honestly, I'd rather you spend it on Facebook ads to get in front of more agents, or whining and dining agents, physical gifts, kind of like the mugs, things like that. Let's see. Is there a way for Spectora reviews to show up other than Spectora? We wish. Everyone asks this. Google is pretty closed off. They don't let reviews come in or go out to other places. Every platform wants to build up reviews, and we're no different. And we do that because there are good review pages that show up high in certain markets, like in Denver, and I think in Seattle. There's a Spectora directory page that ranks like 1, 2, or 3. And the inspectors that have the most reviews there show up pretty high and get clicks and get jobs. So no way to do that, unfortunately, because platforms all kind of are quarantined off from each other. Aaron, great question. Inspections lately have been for sellers in this current market. Has changed the nature of inspections. Does this change your approach? So a lot of it, guys, is working with your agents to let them know, to partner with you, essentially, to say buyers still need to get an inspection even if the contingency is gone. And so there is a marketing challenge we all face in our industry of getting education out there. Everyone needs a blog post on why you still need an inspection even if you waive the contingency. It's an easy article to write. You can copy what's already out there. Everyone needs to have this. But yes, it's a changing market, 100%. I'm not hearing a ton of pre-listing inspections happening. I'm not seeing it. I just think you guys need to push that much harder on increasing revenue per inspection, which means, do you have add-ons? What else are you doing to add on that ticket price that the client needs, of course? Travis, newsletters are not a dinosaur idea. I didn't get into it because I view this as more of agent retention. And I think this is kind of like level 201 marketing. So for those of you, the bigger companies out there, I see a bunch of names in here that are very established. I'm going to do a separate webinar on newsletters because I think there's so much to gain from having a good, solid newsletter through like a MailChimp or a Constant Contact. And it doesn't have to take a ton of effort. So I love newsletters as a way to keep agents engaged and remember that you're their guy, that you're their company. So yes, this will be in a future one. Thanks, Al. Golden Nugget, home maintenance subjects for blog content. You guys know so much stuff that the average millennial doesn't. So don't be shy to write about it. Let's see. All right, Troy, great question. Any tips for that marketing person to get that new business for us? My tip for everybody, if you are looking to hire, is hiring a good writer, a good content writer that has experience in real estate writing. They can learn our business, they can learn home inspections, but guys, the key to Google's heart is good writing and providing value and even entertaining writing nowadays. Because I think we can all agree attention spans are damn near zero, and social media writing is so incomplete and terrible. So it's a very specific talent for someone to write entertaining business writing. So I would say finding good content writers. I follow newsletters like Morning Brew and The Hustle. So those are good things for anyone if you want some inspiration on making sometimes boring topics entertaining. Morning Brew, the newsletter, does that. And that's kind of what we're seeking out to do as Spectora, is create engaging content for inspectors and homeowners. Let's see. Philip, do you guys make screenshots of the Spectora reports that we can use for social media marketing? We sure do. I'd love for you guys to learn how to do this. It's pretty easy. Skitch, Skitch, and Cloud App, Cloudapp. Skitch and Cloud App are free kind of screenshot GIF creators, and literally you add them in your browser, so they are at the top of your browser screen, and you can screenshot or GIF anything. Easy to throw it into social media or into a Google Slides doc. But yeah, you guys should be screenshotting every aspect and sharing this stuff on social media with you talking through it. Let's see. Nope, that's the wrong one. Golden Nugget, adding review requests to automated text and emails. This is a good one, Salvatore. New inspectors, I think you guys have to be selling your hunger. I think you have to sell your hunger and your availability to a degree. And I think some of the lines you should be using are, hey, I'm new to this industry, but I'm not new to homes. I'm not new to construction. I'm not new to telling your client what's wrong. So there's a couple lines I always tell new inspectors to go to, and that's, hey, I may not have 20 years in this business, but I know how to talk to people and I know how to convey defects to buyers to not freak them out. Because that's, at the end of the day, what agents want is someone that knows how to talk about the report in context. So I think you got to go directly to your communication style, because they may have an old school inspector that they're just used to, and they may not even realize that they've wanted someone that can communicate clearly and concisely to their buyers and really connect with them. So I would say hammer in on the intangibles that you have as an inspector, Salvatore, and then the reports too, the reports and the features that add value to them. Because you got to find out if their inspector doesn't use Spectora. Because if their inspector doesn't use Spectora, you zone in on those features to say, oh, does he have this repair request builder that helps you write your inspection objection, 30 minutes faster? Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I think this would be something you might like. So lots of things there, Salvatore. Again, I'm going to be doing these every week, guys. And so that'll be a topic for sure for another day. Let's see. Should I let agent know when client leaves a review? How should I do this? Not quite sure. You could, you could let the agent know. I think you could let the agent know and then ask the agent for a review. I think you could get a double dip there. I think a lot of people don't ask agents for reviews when they should. Um, yeah, I'd say go with that. Um, Jenna, another good question. Use SEO to hire new inspectors. Yes. So I think you need to have a jobs page on your site that has job openings. So you definitely got to do that. And then write an article on how to become a home inspector and talk about the benefits of working for a multi-inspector company, um, and talk about your training. Talk about what's great about your company, and so just blog about these things, and then put them out on LinkedIn, put them out on Facebook, and people will share them because um, I could give you 20 ideas on why it's a great thing to blog about of how good of an industry this is. So if you're looking to, maybe find part-time inspectors, you're trying to market to someone that works part-time, maybe at FedEx or UPS or a firefighter. Um, so I think writing about the industry, all the things you already know, is going to attract home inspectors. And then again, we talked in the deck about all the SEO ideas to get in front of more agents and clients. Um, this is a good one right here. Driving potential clients to the online schedulers on the website, but no one uses it. That's why we're talking about SEO. If your site doesn't rank first, second, or third in Google, not many people are going to find your website that are searching for a home inspector. That's why we talked about writing content, getting reviews, having a fast mobile website, having a nicely designed website. So you got to think about all those factors. Like, people don't just come to your website because you have one or because it's even a nice one. So that's why SEO is, everyone's trying to sell you SEO. That's why everyone cares about it, is because that's what gets people to your online scheduler. So now to get your agents to use it is a whole nother question of just training them over time and directing them there. When they do try to call you, or the high maintenance agent keeps calling you, you gently redirect them to the online scheduler, or have it in your voicemail. So when you're in an attic or in a crawl space, you're directing them to the exact URL. I believe I think it's an Android only thing. You can automatically send them a link when they call you and you don't answer. I think that's an Android feature for those Android users out there, which is really cool. I'll have to double check that. Chris, yes, I would say market to anybody and everybody in the real estate transaction: title, mortgage, insurance, anyone that you could get to engage with you. I think it's time well spent. Would I spend all my time on mortgage lenders? No, because a lot of times people get to the mortgage lender sometimes after they've done the inspection, but you just never know. You never know someone's network. So when you're doing your stalking, I think you still want to make these connections and be a power networker. Guys, I'm going to keep going on a few of these questions. I'm going to go a little over. I'm going to send this out to everybody. I think I'm going to do this again. I'd love for you guys to tell me in the comments if this was helpful, if there's areas you want me to drill deeper in, and then I can segment these off and do future webinars, maybe for less people, but more specific, because there's so much here I wanted to cover. I only got halfway through my slides, y'all. And there's a ton that I put into the research and kind of like asking inspectors and polling to get this. Let's see. Let's keep going here. Thank you. Shout out. Appreciate that. Newsletter, please. We'll do another one on this. Golden Nugget, searching Zillow for agents. Wonderful, Jason. Appreciate you. All right, guys, let's call it here. Thank you for joining. We're going to let you guys keep writing in. I'm going to definitely pay attention to the comments. And if there's areas you guys want to see it deeper walkthroughs on and tools recommendations, I've done pretty much every area of marketing, and I just want to bring it to you guys so you guys can use it. And of course, we're going to keep trying to build tools to help enable you to do that on Spectora. So if there's, let's see, I'm I'm gonna do a few more because I like these questions. Corey, continuing ed, is there somewhere we can go to get certified? I think you have to check with your state agency. If there's licensing in your state, go to the state governing board for that. If there's not, I would say go, or I'm not your state, like the realtor governing board, the realtor association. So I would say check with your local realtor association, and they'll direct you. I think they can give you some guidance there. Um, Ken, not so much SEO, it's process, not a product. So any dive into that would be great. Awesome. I can do that, Ken, where I actually click through a website, do some optimizations with title tags, writing some content even. We can do like a little workshop on that. So then we can get you guys up and running, because if you have more time than money, it makes sense to learn how to write and start producing content on social media. I didn't even get to my social media bit here. So we'll definitely hit social media next time. More content, Q&A, Charles. We will do it for sure. I think I'm gonna do this a weekly thing. Would you recommend calling agents to keep your name in their mind? Colin, I guess if it satisfies, do you have something to add? Do you have some value to bring them? Are you informing them of something? Are you checking in on their business? Are you really curious? Are you asking how you can partner better with them? Are you seeing if they're open to doing a new homeowner webinar with you? That right there. You could do this. I can show everyone how to use this platform, StreamYard, where you just do a live event, you answer new homeowner questions, or you do a market update. So yeah, I would say get creative when you're calling these agents, and come with something unique as opposed to, hey, just checking in. If you're calling them, maybe you ask to get coffee, that you buy them a Starbucks near their office, because then you're furthering that relationship a little more, because you're actually building true relationships here. You're not just asking for business, or it's not just a business transactional thing. So if they're younger, Colin, try texting them. I think a lot of inspectors think just because you wouldn't want someone texting you out of the blue doesn't mean that a 28-year-old rainmaker agent wouldn't be open to you texting them and saying, hey, just followed you on Instagram, love your posts on there, let's get coffee sometime. They might love that. They might be like, this guy's badass, like he just texted me out of the blue and he follows my Instagram or Snapchat or TikTok or whatever. So just remember, like, pay attention to the demographics and the age, because some of these younger agents are starting to come of age in this industry, and they're totally okay with you DMing them on Instagram or whatever, wherever they're at. I can't claim to be well versed in Snapchat or TikTok. I don't think many of you are either. I think we all kind of, begrudgingly have to get to know these. Yep. Send out recording to this. And then I'm going to start doing, Anthony Nelson. Yes. I will take a look at your website. Send it to me. Send it to me, and I'll take a look at it. I'm probably going to start a Feedback Fridays thing as well, where I take a look at websites and just click through them. So if anyone's open to being a guinea pig on that, I'd love to just go through and give some recommendations on just how to make things a little bit better. Hey, Jeff, that's what we're here for, man. We try to provide overwhelming value. And to be honest, we want to set an example for you. So when you're going to agents, you're thinking, how do I just anticipate what they're thinking and what they want and over deliver? You have to get in that mindset, guys, of over delivering and getting ahead of the game. And I think the more we do these, if I can help get you in the mindset of these agents, of their buyers, so you just know the game, then your content and the way you speak kind of follows that. And then they just kind of know that you're in tuned. And that's when people trust you, is when they just feel like you're being authentic, you really want to help, and that you run a good business. So, Jeff, we'll do more new inspector stuff, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for joining. Ryan, thank you. Again, hopefully this was a prescriptive enough to to get you guys in the right mindset of approaching agents, adding value, thinking about your website. Um, and guys, for those of you that are still around, I didn't even get to the end of my slides, but if you don't have a website with Spectora, um, here, let's do this. That's too bad for the folks that bounced early. So if your website's already hosted with us, guys, I'm going to do like an SEO hacks webinar later this month, just for people that have a website with us, because we build all of our sites in WordPress. So then I can actually speak directly to your website, and I can show you how to get in there and do some little changes. So I'm going to do that for our people that host on Spectora. And then if you don't have a website with us and you do want a new design, again, I think our knowledge of the industry is very beneficial and helpful, let alone the features we're going to add in the future that connect to the website. So special webinar offer, $200 off a new website. Use the code new weapon in all caps. I'm going to put that in the chat there. New weapon, one word. That's $200 off. We can only take 50 guys, because we only have so many web designers. So use that if you are interested in just getting a new website built. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you. Look out for more of these. We're going to send out the recording, and I'm going to do these more if you guys keep telling me they're helpful. So one more question. I love it. What are your thoughts on offering new agent a referral fee for the first home inspection booked? If it abides by any state laws, I am okay with it. Referral fees happen all the time in other industries. I'm okay with incentives as long as you feel it's legal and you feel it's ethical. I have no problem with it to get started. Some people give a discount for the first one. They say, "Hey, agent, $100 off." You can tell your client that you're the hero by you negotiated $100 off for them. Lots of different ways you can word it, I think, to make it appealing. But gift cards, maybe that's better than straight cash, depending on how it looks. So, and Paul, don't worry. There's going to be plenty of ways we add value, I think, once you're on our hosting, because I'm going to be doing more stuff specifically for websites that we've built, because there's a lot, I think, on every website. Our web designers don't hit everything on SEO wise. So, Paul, fear not, man. We'll provide value. And Paul, to be honest, I think any of you that do have a site with us, you should be of the mindset that your site's going to get done and be out there quicker than someone that signs up now and saves $200. They might honestly have to wait a couple months if they're in the queue. So your site's going to be out there, and we can get to work on doing things that are helpful, and your site's going to be working for you faster than them. So just a mindset thing. We do sales all the time, and I know people say that of like, "Oh, I just signed up. Thanks a lot, Kevin. Like, I'm screwed. Can I still get that?" Trust me, I'm going to be doing far more stuff here, especially in the next month or two, for folks that have a website with us, because I think that's the key to I think that's the key to a lot of inspectors doing well. Ward, yes. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you soaking up the material. It was great to meet you. Let's see. Jason just found out that discounts might make you look desperate. I told an agent when I started I wouldn't do it for free if they weren't impressed with my work. I kept getting business. So again, guys, this just goes to show there's no one size fits all for everybody. Every market's different. Every person's different. I've heard of small towns versus big towns. So you have to try things out. And that's kind of, what at the end of every presentation, guys, I say try stuff out and see what works, and then listen to that. And Jason, you listened to what worked, and good for you. I think even agent to agent, I think you want to try different things out and see what hooks and what works. Some people are very financially motivated. Others just want a quality report. If you're going to default to one or the other, I say default to your communication style, the fact that you can, handle their clients next day or same day, and your reports and the benefits to the agent. Repair request builder. visual reports, mobile friendly, online booking, all that good stuff. So, let's see. All right, guys. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. This is fun for me. So again, write into our chat if there's an area you want to learn more about, and we'll be in touch. All right. Thanks, everybody.